I thought I'd make an updated movie for you guys to see as of today, February 10th, at our Northline Rd location. The conveyor, keep in mind, there's going to be a heavy rubber plate covering that hole for the roller up. We have the two McNeil top brushes erected, pre-soak arches. We're going to have dual pre-soak arches here, one for regular cars and one for touchless cars. And then we have an illuminated foaming arch that we're using for our hot wax customers. Receive extra foam, colored red currently at our locations. Here are the robot carriages. We're going to start assembling them on Monday. We're going to have 3 carriages here actually. One for prepping that's going across the front of the car, the sides, and the back end of the car, pacing with the speed of the conveyor. And then 2 brush robots, one for the front end and the sides, and one for the back end of the sides. They'll both actually do front and back ends when we're not super busy, and they will transform between busy production and slower production. One new thing we're going to be doing with these top brushes, we're going to use the ultrasonic sensor that's going to be mounted here to detect the height of the hood of the car, and we're going to put the brush down with a proportional air regulator and have an encoder mounted on. So as I was saying, I found an encoder that goes around that shaft, and therefore we'll know the exact position of the top brush on the entire vehicle. So we'll be able to, keep all this the same using an air cylinder, and we'll be able to put it down on the nose of the vehicle perfectly. So, on high speed, like a Ford F-350 comes in, when that top brush goes down, it usually bounces off the front of the car and you miss a little bit of the hood. So that will be a big improvement. Got a set of mud blasters right here. They're gonna oscillate back and forth. We're gonna make those electric drive. Everything in this place is electric drive except the conveyor. This is the only hydraulic piece of equipment in here. So there's the 30-foot long robot assembly. 10 for prepping, 10 for brush 1, and 10 feet for brush 2. This is a little architectural feature that was just a bump out. We were able to fit the Aqua Bio limited reclaim system in here. So you have a pump sucking out of the raw reclaim pit, which is the last settling tank. Goes through 4 hydrocyclones, and this thing produces 160 gallons of reclaim water that is less than 5 microns. So pretty clean. He has an air pump that keeps the odor eliminated from the system. And then there's a repressurization pump to give you the 160 gallons of water a minute. And it's kind of like there's a cyclonic action to this pump, or in this tank rather. So this little room will have the those are the chases to the reclaim system outside. And then we have a final top brush here. So this place will be able to give customers that want it a completely touchless car wash. It's not going to be perfectly clean, but it'll be pretty good. We have a couple of in-bay automatics up the street, competitors. So we find between 5 and 8% of our customers choose touchless at the 2 other locations we do this. So this stupid wall was put here before we really knew the equipment layout, which was a stupid mistake on our part. But now it's actually acting as a sound buffer from the drying system. And our whole equipment package and some of the rinse arches are going to be in this room. So we're building a second wall that will eventually, we're gonna go to the ceiling with it. We're halfway in the middle of building it. You know, we've got the 1 million BTU heater. There's gonna be 2 of them in this drying system. The spacing of these hoops is 3 feet. Between the first one and the second one is 3 and 3. And then the last one is about 4 feet, where the 2 heaters will be pointing straight down and go from the roof. The ceiling height here is a little more than, you know, usually we're 12 feet. We need a little more to mount those heaters that far. We actually made these hoops ourselves because we needed a little more clearance than what you get from Tommy car wash systems in Michigan. So we ended up calculating it incorrectly, actually. So we just added some extensions to the top nozzles made out of stainless. And they really won't affect the performance of the drying at all. But we just measured incorrectly, or Shane made a mistake by mistake. So we made an electrical room, and you know, we have a big panel with actually very few breakers and what looks to me like a lot of expansion room, which was probably unnecessary, but and then we build our own cabinets with the variable frequency drives in them for various equipment. You know, so we're bringing a 300 amp service into this cabinet, and then we buy DIN rail mounted breakers. Those are line reactors for the variable frequency drives. That it adds a little protection to the variable frequency drive. And then, you know, this is the drying system, variable frequency drives. And then we got a rack system throughout the place. So the drying system, and then some of the pumps. This is going to be for the vacuums outside. There's the only hydraulic unit, and this is what I was telling you guys. I'm going to get you a quote for. This is a 7.5 horsepower inverter duty motor. So there's a fan spinning at full speed to keep the motor cool, because this thing will typically be running at half speed, only 30 hertz most of the time. And so all it is simply just a motor and the pump. So that's a 20 gallon a minute pump. There's, you know, a pressure relief valve in case the conveyor jams, and that's it. No speed control on it at all. It will just run as fast as it needs to run to move that conveyor. A couple of water softeners, a couple of air compressors, air dryer. And then these are the new pumps that we're building for ourselves. So we got a direct drive. This is the direct drive 30 horse, I think. So they're, you know, 1800 RPM, direct couple with that's a D35 hydrocell. And this is the one with the tank. And then we built manifold with the pressure relief valve. You could put a pressure transducer in there. Actually, a couple of these will have that. We're going to have reclaim or fresh water available for the tanks. And it's this is a dual pumping station right here. And then here's our Hydroflex setup that we build now. All the different functions, and then the Grundfos, which I think is a 30 gallon a minute pump, which is an upgrade to the typical Hydroflex system. You know, it's got an integrated VFD built right on it. Thing's a beast. back out here a second. I don't know that I showed it, but we're just, you know, installing that rack up high at the ceiling to run all the low pressure lines and the electrical lines.